what's up YouTube? You're watching Ready Set Drone, and today I have my pal Mark, who I've known for years and years, and he is gonna fly a drone for the very first time for reals. But before we fly, we're gonna talk about 5 things every new drone pilot should learn before they get started, so stay tuned and check it out. All right, so Mark, you've been actually helping me a lot with live streaming, with Spin Up. You have the shirt on, but you've never really flown a drone. Tell me a little bit about your one experience with the drone that you bought a couple of years ago.
Yeah, well, a few years ago, I wanted to get my boy, he was 12, 13 years old at the time. You know,
Yeah,
like, let's get
prime drone flying age.
Yeah, and you see these things at Target, $59, $69, $79 maybe.
Less than 100.
And it promised
yeah.
all this stuff.
Beautiful
right?
footage, and
Yeah.
it'll follow you everywhere, and
Yeah.
4K video, and miles and miles of transmission range. Well, what was the truth?
Well, it went up. It got off the ground, but
Yeah.
there was no control. Like, the control was really, I don't know, just almost impossible to navigate, and it would crash and one of the blades would break, like that quick. And they're like, okay, now I got to replace the blade. So it just was
a frustrating
It's
experience?
frustrating. It was just like disappointing because, you know, you open the package, you
Yeah,
got your
yeah.
birthday present. I think
Kids
it was a
all
birthday
excited.
present.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look like I sucked as a dad, basically.
So,
Yeah.
so that's really important, guys. If you are a father or a mother, you don't want to suck at that because that's an important job.
Yeah.
What we want to talk about is the 5 things to help you not suck when it comes to drone
like
flying, whether you're doing it as a parent or you're doing it just as a hobby. So the very first thing, Mark, in my opinion, is figure out what you want to do with the drone, right? So you're a photographer, you do some video work, you do some sound, you're a guitar player, you know, you're into the creative arts kind of thing. What do you think you would want to do with the drone? Are you going to make videos? Are you more interested in photos? Are you interested in building and flying FPV? What do you think?
Well, I'm scared of FPV because I can't do first-person shooter games, you know.
Right,
I've
right.
noticed. So I'd love to get over my FPV disorientation and fly that way because I like that experience. So for me, it's mainly experience the feeling of flying. I have flying dreams. I wanted to be a helicopter pilot when I was a kid. So part of it is just the joy of flight for me. But being in video, I would love to be able to do some simple things, right? And know
establishing shots.
Or know how to hire people that can really do it, right? If
Yeah.
nothing else, like really understand it, like what's capable here. And I think it'd be fun if I did go on trips and travel to be able to take it with me, you know, small enough to where I could take it and kind of have that as part of my footage. And
So to start with, you want to do mostly photos and video.
Yeah.
And FPV, I think, is a good secondary goal.
Yeah.
But if you're just getting into it, FPV is a kind of advanced place to start.
Yeah.
So let's say photos and video, and then travel,
my grandkids.
and then put it up in the air and let your grandkids see, wow, I can see the city, I can see the ocean.
Or maybe even let them fly a little.
I was just in San Diego at a friend's house, and we actually put the drone up at a school, just a DJI drone, and they were amazed that they could see the ocean, you know, because it was several miles away, but it was like once you got up over all the buildings, you could see it. So, okay, so define what you want to do with your drone first and foremost, and then go from there. Now, number 2, and I think this is where you made the first mistake, is don't buy your drone at Target. Don't buy your drone at Academy, and don't order a $99 drone that pops up in your Instagram feed because it looks cool and they promise a lot. Generally, if they're promising a lot and it's less than $100, you're going to be disappointed. Now, there are some cool little line of sight drones that I do like to fly. There's the Syma X5C, which I've promoted for years, since like 2015 when I first got one. They are a little toy, and they're fun because they don't have GPS, and so you have to really learn how to fly it. But if you want to get video, the Syma X5C is no good for video. It's really more just a toy to run around with. You got to drop about $300. That's kind of the starting point, I think. I think right now the low-end DJI is about $300 or $400, and that's the Mini SE, I think. I've never actually flown one, but I know that the quality is pretty good. DJI's got it dialed in. You've heard of them, of course. Now there's Autel. Autel is another company that makes really good drones. They make the Evo and the Evo Lite, and the Evo Nano, I think. Those are all kind of in that same range. But $300 to $1,000 will get you into something that's really, really reliable, fun to fly. And then from there, you go on size. So you can get something that is under 250 grams. Do you know why that's important?
No.
Because if it's over 250 grams, you actually have to register it. Even as a hobbyist, if it's over 250 grams, you have to go to FAA.gov, I'll put a link down below, and register that drone. And that leads us into number 3, which is learn the rules before you fly. So you've been around us a little while. Are there some rules that you know about that you, or are there some that you think you know, have you picked up, or
Well, I've picked
common
up
sense?
common sense stuff like don't be flying over crowded public areas like stadiums or football games, things like that. It seems harmless enough, but it's not.
Yeah.
But I would think questions about even here, we're at a elementary, middle school,
Yeah,
school, like
yeah.
what are the rules around public places like that?
Right,
you know?
right.
But yeah, obvious ones are don't fly it where it can hit someone's head
Yeah.
when it falls.
That is very true. Or someone's car,
Yeah,
right? Because a
yeah.
distracted driver could. It's not that the drone's going to damage the car. It's that if you fall out of the sky, you're going to distract the driver and cause an accident, or you could. And that's really.
So highways, all those kind of roadways.
Yeah, you don't want to fly over busy roads. You really don't want to fly over any road unless it's completely empty, you know, or like I've flown over the road right here beside us many times, but generally I'll do one of two things. I'll either wait until there's no cars and I can fly over it, or I'll truck alongside the road at sort of an angle so I can see the road below me, but I'm over the school here, I'm over the easement or the sidewalk or something, so that if I did fall out of the sky. Really, I'd say the big couple of rules are, number 1, you can't fly over 400 feet, so don't even try to do it. You have to maintain visual line of sight, which means that you should be able to look up and see the drone with your eyeballs at any given time. You don't want to be within 5 miles of an airport. Now, you were asking about a school and the rules around here. That has to do with airspace, and this is Class G airspace, which means we can fly here. It's okay to fly here. There's not a danger of airplanes or parachuters or anything that's going to be in the air. Not likely to be anything in the air that could cause trouble. But if you're near the airport, like when I was in San Diego, we were actually pretty close to the airport at a beach at one point, and I couldn't fly there because I was too close to the takeoff and landing, near an airport. You just don't do that, right? And like you mentioned, stadiums, that'll get you in big trouble flying over a sports stadium. It's called TFR, yes, temporary flight restriction. The FAA will issue TFRs, which means if, say, the president was coming here or if a VIP was going to be in this area, you might not be able to fly in this area because of Air Force One or because there's a large sports event going on. So you just got to be aware of all those things. Even not knowing the rules and causing a problem could get you in trouble, right?
What about if you have high school sports, like you have a son who played lacrosse or daughter lacrosse?
Yeah.
Could you get permission to fly around during that game, regardless of what government situation was?
So I know with large professional, I think with anything, if you have the right permission, yes. That's definitely, there are drones that fly over sports games and they're authorized to do so.
Got it.
So I think it's all about asking
But don't just
the
pull
permission.
it out and start flying it around your son's game.
I'll give you a great example. I actually, there was a heart walk. It's one of these benefit things where people walk to raise money for heart health, right? I think it was the Red Cross or the American Heart Association. Anyway, they put on this heart walk. I was the drone pilot for that. And I had so many people while I was flying come up to me and ask me if I had permission, I had several people try to stop me. Fortunately, I had the paperwork in my pocket that had all the permission. I had on a vest that said official drone, photographer of the event. I had the name and phone number of the person who had given me that permission to do it. So just be aware that if you're at an event like that and you don't have permission, you're probably going to have somebody come up and challenge you about it.
I just put my ACL badge on everywhere I go.
Right,
People just let you go anyway.
Right. You're like, oh, he can go backstage.
Oh, ACL,
Sure.
yeah, you'll go.
This guy used to know Tom Petty. He's the new Tom
Or just
Petty.
put staff on the back of your shirt.
Yeah. There is something to be said about that. But regardless, know the rules is number 3. Number 4 is exactly what we're doing right now. And what is that?
Asking for help.
Yes.
Learning how do I do this right?
Right. It's a great community of drone pilots out there, and so asking for help is not a shame. As a matter of fact, you said this earlier that a lot of people, especially men, don't like to ask for help when it comes to anything, let alone technology.
Especially tech or tools, So good. I appreciate it.
You're a manly man, and you asked for help. So if you want to be like, yeah, see, look at that. And then the final thing, of course, is don't let it be a burden. Have fun, right? We're out here to learn. We're out here to have fun. We're out here to be a part of the community. And then if you're taking a trip to the Northeast, right?
Yeah, New Hampshire.
Yeah, and so how cool would it be if you could take a drone with you? As a matter of fact, I'm going to make sure you have a Mini with you. I want you to take it up there.
Okay.
It's tiny. It's sub 250, so you don't have to worry about registration.
Yeah.
And it will get you some beautiful shots while you're there. You can put it up in the air and you can have some fun with it.
Cool.
So let's review real quick. Number one was figure out what you want to do with your drone, because there's a lot of...
Why? Why am I doing this?
Yes, there's a lot of subtext to that. Number two is get the right drone. Do some research. Watch Ready, Set, Drone. Watch other channels out there and figure out what you want to get. Number three, know the rules. Number four, don't fly alone. Get a friend. Go to a community. And number five, everybody...
Have fun.
Everybody Wang Chung
Have fun,
tonight.
man. Get some endorphins going.
Yes.